Alright, let's start this video. Um, what I'm showing you is the nighttime sky. Well, actually, it's the daytime sky with the atmosphere taken away. Let's put the atmosphere back. That's what it would look like in the with the atmosphere in it. You'd see the sun and you'd see the moon. Let's take that away. The reason why I'm showing you such a broad view of the sky is because of my previous video that I just finished putting up on YouTube. I think it was on the 28th, about the strange body that we've been that I've been capturing in Australia and in Hong Kong. Um, the light, though, if you look at those videos, the light is coming toward the north of the sun before the sun rises. A lot of people have sent me emails and left comments that it's the star Sirius. Well, Sirius is down here below the sun. Look how far Sirius is from the sun. But there is this star right here. Let me click on it. It's called Pollux. It is 33.78 light years away. Let's zoom in on that. Actually, let's move the sun over a bit so it gets right in the middle of the picture. Let's push this up. Now, in the videos that I'm about to show you, I'm going to show you that it's something that moves to the north of the sun. It is not the moon. I don't think it's this star. The reason why is because look how far away from the sun this star is. It's because of the distance, but it's something that would be up here. Let's click on that real quick. This is NCNC. This is a star. It's 298.40 light years away. We have another one up here. That's way too far up north. It doesn't go up that far. But again, that's another star, and this one's 181.20 light years away. Let's zoom in closer on the sun. Let's move it. Oh, we moved it too far. Bring this up here. Let's move it right into the center and zoom in on that sun for a moment. As you can plainly see from here, when you zoom in on the sun, there's no known star up here that close to the sun. You do have one out to the side, but it is not directly to the side. It's a little bit further down. This is a star at 0CNC. This is 414.96 light years away, but you don't see anything up here. And that light is somewhere up in here, close to the sun. Could it possibly be this? CNC. Again, this is another star, 298.40 light years away. Could it be this star? Well, the problem with that, its magnitude is 5.30. Don't think it would be bright enough to show up as a bright object. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you, that even though the comments you've been leaving me are saying that it's Sirius, I don't believe that it's Sirius, because Sirius is way down here. It's way out of the picture. Again, these time lapses are taken after the moon has already passed in the nighttime sky. And this one, it's so far away, I don't even think it would show up. It would have to be around this area, this NCNC, that's 298.40 light years away. But, excuse me, I can't say that it is or not. I just don't know. It's still a mystery. Now, on the east side of the sun, you do have Venus and Mercury, so you should be aware that on this day, that's July the 31st, Venus and Mercury are in the sky. Let's put the atmosphere back. So you have the afternoon sky. With a good telescope, you'd be able to see Venus. You wouldn't be able to see anything else except the sun, because the sun's light is so luminous that it drowns just about everything else out. But Venus would be to the east of the sun. So with a good telescope, you'd be able to see it. Let's turn this off and let's go straight to a video tutorial. Again, capturing the strange orbs in the sky. And I'm going to go ahead and play it. And I want you to watch also, because I've watched this over and over again. This is from July the 29th. So this was taken on the 29th. Let's play it. But you notice you'll also see other lights. Now, this is not the moon, but in some of these sky cams, you'll also see other lights hitting the nighttime sky. And the sun's light drowns it out. Now let's go to another one in Hong Kong. There it is again. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. Look, if you look up at the top, you'll see the time and date stamp on these, so you know what time it is and what day it was taken from. But this is from the Hong Kong Space Museum. And notice how bright it is. And it's like a bright light hitting the upper atmosphere. The sun's light comes into the picture and drowns it out, and you see it kind of fading away. See it out into the distance? Just see it drifting off till you can't see it anymore. This is another one in Hong Kong. Again, starting out at 3:30 in the morning. See the other lights? Another one that just shone right over here. Don't worry if you didn't capture it the first time. There's another one. We're going to watch it a second time, because I have some interesting information to give you later on that you probably haven't heard about, but it's going to kind of blow your mind. Now let's go to Australia. Take a look. Again, early in the morning, before the sun has even risen. Look how bright that is. Just some kind of bright light hitting the upper atmosphere. And you just watch it zoom off toward the north, out into space, as the sun's light comes into view. Sun's light starting to shine on the Nibiru system. Now let's go to another sky cam in Australia. Again, early in the morning. Now, what could cause something to be so bright to create even an orb in the nighttime sky? This is 4 o'clock in the morning. This is 5 o'clock in the morning. Notice the time lapse up at the top. And you've got an orb in the sky, in the nighttime sky. Pre-dawn, well, I guess I should say pre-dawn sky. Can you just see it disappear? Now notice that the north is up here and the south is down here in this particular sky cam. The Nibiru system's starting to show up as the sun's rising. And the sun's light's hitting on it. But again, what is that? I have searched the Sumerian text. I can't find anything on it. If y'all know some other text that I could be looking at, please, please advise me because I am so curious. Beautiful, beautiful shots from Canada. Why? Because Canada isn't chemtrailing like we are. But notice this is the Nibiru system early in the morning. Notice you've got the little striped planet. I want to tell you my theory about this because we're going to watch it twice. Okay, you saw the striped planet here. Notice you see it here again starting to form, and you'll see it come down here. I'm starting to think that this image of the striped planet is actually an orb because notice how it disappeared. Now, two theories on this because I've gotten into kind of arguments with my friends about this. An argument could be made that as the sun moves into the sky, it is hitting and reflecting on one of the planets or the moons of the Nibiru system, casting out a very small orb of that striped planet. That's my theory. Others are saying because the sun is moving in the sky, it does not cast its light the same way. It does not reflect the light, and that's why it looks like it's moving. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I think it's a tiny little orb. But we'll look at it again, and I'd like to know what you think about that also. Um, and as the day goes by, watch the move. And notice you've got a blue orb here, and then you've got a bright light up here. Okay, now let's go to America and look at a sky cam from America. Early, early in the morning as the sun begins to rise. Notice the junk on the lens. You have to deal with that. Okay, watch the orb. Y'all watch the orb. Notice the detail, that little dark spot in the orb as it rotates. Now, whether that's a planet or the moon or a moon of the Nibiru system, don't know. But that is a great shot of that orb, especially early in the morning. You can literally see that thing move in the sky. Now, again, it's an orb, it's a reflection, but it is so clear. It is such a good image that I wanted to show you that. I also wanted to leave all these clouds in here, so while you're looking at your own telescopes, you know, this is part of life. You got to deal with the clouds. I try to keep all the stuff in there, the good, the bad, the ugly, the whole thing. Even the bugs. Leave the bugs in there. So you know bugs happen. They land on these lenses. So got an orb forming early in the morning. Good shot of the Nibiru system. But look how, I want to call that powdery sky. Now you can't really see the chemtrail lines in it, but you can look at that sky and know that there's something wrong with the colors in that sky. How it's kind of like a strange powdery blue kind of color. It just looks weird. It just looks off. Now a case could be made. We do know about the dust coming off of Africa that has been blown across the Atlantic Ocean into North America, but it has really messed up those skies. Now back again to Canada because it's such beautiful shots. I wanted you to see it again, but notice I'll show you when it starts to show up. You see the striped planet. See, there it goes. There's one. That's one, what I'm calling a reflection. And then you're going to see it again down here. It'll start to form as the time lapse goes by. See it drop right here? It's starting to drop. And you can start to see the stripes. And then it starts fading away. As the sun moves, starting to see stripes over here. Not as clearly though. I don't know. I think it could be an orb. I think it could be a reflection. And notice how you're starting to see like a little striped round thing right there above the blue orb right here. And look how bright and intense this light is from this orb. That's casting out a lot of light. When there's a lot of light like that, there's a lot of heat. But remember, months and months ago, when I first started doing these video tutorials, I would tell you the best time to get any kind of photographic evidence of the Nibiru system was in the morning hours. Once it got afternoon, once it got behind the sun, you could barely see it at all. Now look at this. This is in the late afternoon. This is in Canada. Did you see how bright and beautiful that was? Let's play that whole thing again. I'm going to let y'all watch. I'm going to let you observe. And I'm going to give you some information that you might not have known. Now, I had done a previous video about the DARPA system, which was literally the military in space. And I posted a link, and I'm going to post that same link again, to another YouTuber's channel called Secure Team. And they did such an excellent job explaining the DARPA system that I'm going to refer you to that video so you can see it for yourself if you didn't see it the first time. Or if you're new to this channel, I'm going to post the link so you can look at it. But basically, the DARPA's new Hallmark program seeks to provide improved capabilities of rapid planning, access, and execution of full spectrum of U.S. military operations in space. So in other words, our military is in space. They put up these mobile devices. The first one they put up was in Australia, strangely enough, where we're seeing these strange lights coming from. At least the most intense, the most bright. Notice how light they are in, see that other light pop up? But notice how light they are here in Hong Kong, but yet we're still seeing them in Hong Kong as well as Australia. But they're more bright, they're more intense in Australia. But the first DARPA system has gone up in Australia. Basically, my theory of it was, when I first heard about it, was that they're using it to track asteroids and meteors. They pretty much kind of, suggested and kind of stated, well, it could be used for that. But in the other YouTubers' video, it's called Secure Team. They're more UFO researchers. And when he first did his video, again, I thought it was about the asteroids and the meteors. I didn't put so much emphasis on the UFO research about it until now. And the reason why is NASA's new press release. You've never heard of this. This wasn't on the evening news, but yet NASA put out a press release, and you can actually go on NASA's website and find this. I'll put a link of it for you also, so you can go look at it for yourself. But basically, let me read this article a little bit to you anyway. A DNA sequencer that was just delivered to the International Space Station can test not only for known earthly organisms, it turns out the little device uh, is also able to analyze samples taken from alien life. This is according to NASA's own press release. I'm not even making a joke. I'll put a link down below so you can look at it yourself. Let me read a little bit further so you can kind of grasp this whole thing. The SpaceX Dragon capsule met up with the International Space Station on July the 20th after being launched aboard the Falcon 9 rocket on July the 18th. Among the goods delivered was the Minion. That's what it's literally called. That's what NASA's calling it, is the Minion. Spelled capital M, lowercase I-N, capital I, capital O, capital N, called the Minion. It is a palm-sized sequencer that has a lot of promise and weighs 120 grams, and for us Americans, that's 0.27 pounds. In other words, it's this tiny little device that fits into the palm of their hand that can analyze alien DNA, which has just now been delivered. A bunch of them has been delivered to the International Space Station. Why the hell? Why the hell would they? Well, we know why they would do it, but why would they release a press release telling the public about it? Excuse me. I thought that was very, very interesting that they're basically releasing this information to the public. Basically, a little device that fits into the palm of their hand that weighs 20.27 pounds. So it's a tiny little thing, smaller than a cell phone, that can analyze alien DNA. So I will put a link down below so you can read it for yourself. Gives a little bit more credence to the DARPA story about the military in space. So the question is, what the hell are they doing? And who are they doing it with? And why do they need devices to analyze alien DNA up on the International Space Station? Better yet, they told the public about it in a press release. Now, a lot of my UFO friends are saying, okay, disclosure's coming soon. It's going to be at the end of 2016 or the beginning of 2017. You hear a lot of buzz about it on the internet that disclosure is coming soon. Well, I always I didn't bark at the idea, I didn't laugh at the idea. I just thought, they're never going to admit that they've been lying to us for all this time. It's been since what, 1940? They've been lying to us. It's been before the whole Roswell incident. They've been, if y'all searching out in California during the end of World War II, when they first saw the ship. Actually, there's a brilliant picture of the ship that was captured in the California skies. So they've known about this. They've been studying and researching about this since back by World War II. So it's been, you know, longer than 1940. But according to all of my UFO research friends, it's 1940 when they took the research seriously and started back engineering some of these ships that they had captured. Um, but my thing is, if they come clean, if they have disclosure, even partial disclosure, they're basically going to have to admit to us all that they've been lying their asses off for decades and decades and decades. So I don't know if they are really going to disclose. Um, the Canadians, at least the ex-prime minister has disclosed. I can't remember what his name is, but there's also a YouTube video of him holding some kind of hearing from the panel was ex-senators from the United States and this Canadian official. I can't remember what his name was, basically disclosing what Canada knew about extraterrestrials and their involvement with them. Um, but as for the United States of America, according to them, aliens don't exist and it's all swamp gas. What you see in the sky is all swamp gas. Oh, I should also point out to each and every one of you, you're going to be noticing weird things in the sky. What I'm talking about is there's going to be a lot of meteor showers, especially in the month of August. Throughout the month of August, you're going to be seeing a lot of meteor showers. So don't be shocked or surprised or horrified by this. It's just a part of life. It's part of nature. Are is there more of them because there are woods and it's possible. There definitely. We do know that the Nibiru system traveled through the Kuiper belt and through the asteroid belt, so it's going to dislodge asteroids and meteors from those two belts. But and some of the asteroids and meteors could be part of this, what they're calling the meteor show for August. But you're going to be able to see a lot of strange and unusual things happening in the sky at night in August. So look forward to the light show. Right now we can look forward to this show that we're seeing, which is the Nibiru show. And this, to me, is some great time-lapse captures of the Nibiru system. Um, and again, look at the time and the date up at the top. This is July the 28th that this was taken in Canada, because they're not chemtrailing as much up there as we are, trying to obscure their skies. So notice that the picture on my wallpaper is also from this exact same sky cam, which is a Canadian sky cam, a month previous. I think is it June the 7th? I'll have to look. Let's look now. Let's turn this off. Let's put this down. Yes, June the 7th. Look at that. Look at that. So for all those stupid trolls and shields who says it's lens flare, okay, you just saw a video from July the 29th. This picture is June the 7th. And basically, same thing, Nibiru system. You got the planet, which now I'm believing is an orb. I think it is. I'm suggesting it is. You got an orb out in the sky. You got another one starting to form out here. So, you know, we're seeing the same things. We're seeing the Nibiru system in sky cams all over the world. We're watching them on the ISS, NASA's own stuff. NASA's coming out with some unusual press releases lately. The whole DARPA system thing, and now the DNA sequencers that analyze alien life, and they're basically coming out and saying it. So interesting. It's getting weird out there, and I'm liking it. I consider us very, very lucky to be the generation that gets to observe all this, that gets to study all this. So, with that said, y'all, I know this is a short one, but I'm about to do another video tutorial for you about how to hook up your cameras and your webcams to your telescopes. You don't have to be rich. It doesn't have to cost you a whole lot of money. Could cost you some pocket change, if that. But I'm going to do another video for you. And hopefully you will go out and do the research yourself. That's the whole entire reason I'm doing these video tutorials, is to teach you how to do the research yourself so you don't have to believe or listen to anybody else, because I know there's a lot of BS about the Nibiru system on YouTube. I've seen other YouTube channels, and there's a lot of weird and wacky people out in this world. A lot of them looking forward to the imaginary destruction of the world and the imaginary destruction and death of all of us. And they look forward to it with breathless anticipation. I think these people are whack jobs. Life is good. Life is beautiful. Enjoy yourselves. Go out there and do something wonderful with your day. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.